Battlestate Games just dropped an absolute bomb on the community. Tarkov is getting a full wipe in July, but this is not your typical reset. This time, it's being officially branded as a hardcore wipe. That's right, the pain we all know and love is now being baked directly into the game's code. For years, the hardcore Tarkov experience was a community-driven thing, a self-imposed challenge for streamers and vets trying to recapture that day one magic. Now BSG is making it the law of the land. Tarkov's July 2025 hardcore wipe is promising a return to the game's brutal, unforgiving roots, but with a completely disabled flea market, gutted loot pools, and a whole bunch of other punishing changes. You have to wonder if they've finally crossed the line from challenging to just unplayable for a huge part of the player base. So in this video, we're breaking down every painful detail to answer the big question. Is this the ultimate Tarkov experience we've been waiting for? Or is it an impossible nightmare that's going to drive players away for good? Alright then, let's get into the argument that's tearing the community in half. The idea that this wipe has simply gone too far, especially for the casual player. The number one change everyone's talking about, of course, the complete removal of the flea market for the entire wipe. For years, the flea has been the great equaliser. It was the backbone of the economy, a place where you could sell off your valuable loot, re-gear after a bad run. Without it, the gear progression for someone who only has a few hours a week is going to hit a brick wall. This change alone is going to slow progression to a crawl and make that early game struggle feel like it never ends. But it gets worse. BSG isn't just taking away your main source of gear, they're making it harder to find and even harder to keep. They've announced a huge reduction in the spawn chance of rare loot, specifically targeting good ammo and high tier weapon parts. So, not only can you not buy good gear, your chances of finding it are now slim to none. And to add insult to injury, they're clamping down on secure containers. You can't put ammo, money or certain meds in there anymore, getting rid of the one safety net that guaranteed you could walk away from a raid with something to show for it. For a casual player, this combination is just devastating. Dying is infinitely more punishing now. You lose your gear, you lose your loot, and you have no easy way to get back on your feet. You're left with a gameplay loop that feels deeply unrewarding, where hours of effort can be completely erased in a single, unlucky firefight. We're also seeing big changes to traders, who will have less stock and will lowball you on your items, making it incredibly difficult to build up any kind of cash. So, when you put it all together, no flea market, Nerf loot, a Nerf secure container, and stingy traders, you create an experience that many are worried will just be too frustrating for anyone who can't make this game their full-time job. So let's flip the script. For every player that this is all too much, there's a veteran PMC nodding along, thinking, finally, this is the Tarkov I was always meant to play. This is just right. The removal of the flea market is the heart of this entire philosophy. Proponents will tell you that the flea, while convenient, completely broke the core survival fantasy of the game. It turned Tarkov from a tense, loot-driven survival shooter into a game of ruble per slot and spreadsheet hideout management. By killing it, BSG is forcing us all back into the raids. Every single item you find now has real meaning. That roll of toilet paper isn't just vendor trash. It's a critical piece for a hideout upgrade that you have to earn. Finding a rare quest item in a jacket pocket is going to feel like winning the lottery again. A moment of pure excitement that the flea market had basically deleted from the game. This brings back the scarcity and desperation that defined early Tarkov. The loot nerfs feed right into this. Sure, rare loot is harder to find, but that's what makes finding it so much better. It slows down the meta, preventing the wipe from being solved in 2 weeks. We won't see lobbies full of guys running meta M4s and class 5 armor in a month. Instead, the early and mid game will last much longer, forcing everyone to get creative with scavenged weapons and makeshift kits. This makes every gunfight more unpredictable and engaging. Every piece of gear, from a SCAVS VPO rifle to a half-used IFAK, becomes a precious resource. Even the controversial changes, like limited ammo crafting and harsher trader prices, all support this vision. Limited ammo means you have to make your shots count and actively hunt for more in raid. Harsher traders make money tight, forcing you to make tough calls on what you keep and what you sell. It's a fundamental shift that puts the focus back on survival and scavenging over just pure PvP skill. This hardcore wipe isn't about making the game impossible, it's about making every single choice matter. It's about restoring the weight and tension that made so many of us fall in love with Tarkov in the first place. Beyond the economy, other changes are set to completely reshape the moment-to-moment gameplay, making the maps themselves a much bigger threat. And the biggest change here is that boss spawn rates are being cranked way up. On one hand, this is an incredible change for anyone looking for a challenge. It makes the world feel more alive and way more dangerous. You can't just sprint through a resort on Shoreline or the main building on Reserve anymore without a care in the world. You will always have to think about a heavily armed boss and his guards being there. Taking them down early in the wipe could be a huge high-risk, high-reward play, offering a direct path to top-tier gear if you're good enough to pull it off. It adds a consistent, dynamic threat to every raid. But from the too hard perspective, this is a total nightmare. For a solo or a less experienced player, running into a boss is almost always a death sentence. Making them a near guaranteed spawn could lock off entire sections of a map, making it insanely hard to get certain quests done. Imagine trying to finish your tasks in custom storms whilst Rashala and his boys are guaranteed to be there every single time. It raises the baseline difficulty of every single raid exponentially. This is all on top of general increases in AI difficulty across the board. SCAVS are going to be smarter, more aggressive, and probably more accurate. We've all been one-tapped by a shotgun scav from a mile away, and the fear is that this change will make those moments feel less like bad luck and more like the norm. Focus on survival is also being reinforced by XP changes, rewarding you more for actually extracting safely instead of just stacking up kills. This whole package of changes is designed to make the environment itself your main enemy. The question is, does it create a challenging, immersive world, or just a relentlessly punishing one where you can't walk 10 feet without getting head-eyes by a scav you never even saw? So where does that leave us? The July 2025 hardcore wipe is, without a doubt, the most ambitious and divisive update in Tarkov's entire history. On one side, you've got a vision of Tarkov that is brutally punishing, a game that could push away a huge part of its player base who just don't have the time for this massive grind. Taking away safety nets like the flea market and the secure container, and then throwing in a constant deadly AI threat could make the game an absolute exercise in frustration. On the other side, this is a return to the game's original vision, a tense, high-stakes survival experience where every item matters, every choice has consequences, and every successful extract feels like a massive achievement. For the hardcore fans, this might just be the wipe they have been dreaming of for years. My take? I think for a long-term health of the game, these changes might be a bit too extreme for the average player. I love the idea of more meaningful survival experience, but throwing all these nerfs in at the same time risks making the barrier to entry a vertical cliff. That said, as a test run for features leading up to the 1.0 release, this is an incredibly bold and fascinating experiment. It's clear that BSG isn't afraid to shake things up and really challenge its community. Those are the biggest changes, but I want to hear from you. Has BSG finally built the perfect hardcore experience, or is this the end of the line for the Tarkov casual player? Let me know what you really think down in the comments below. If you did like this video, please hit that thumbs up. If you want to see more Tarkov content, be sure to subscribe. This has been XB. Take it easy.